All right, so setting up for our floor hip thrusts, guys. All right, so we're gonna want our feet in that squat position or maybe a little bit closer in. Toes definitely turned out for that glute engagement. If your feet are turned forward or in, it's gonna be a lot harder to engage the glutes. All right, so good starter is we want the feet to be underneath the knees at the top position, okay? Good starting point will be one hand away from the bum, okay? So bringing the feet back to there. Same thing with our squats. We don't want our knees collapsing in. We want them to be in line with our toes. All right, so from here, we're going to tuck our hips into that neutral pelvis first. So we should feel our glutes activate a little bit right there. From here, hands down on the ground or on our chest, wherever we feel relaxed. Right, we're driving the hips up, keeping the knees in line with the feet. All right, coming to the top position. We want to keep that tuck in this top position, making sure we can physically feel that our glutes are engaging. All right, coming back down to the floor and tucking the hips again if we need, and back up. All right, next we're going to move into our elevated variations. This is going to be a little bit more harder. This is going to test them a little bit more as well. All right, so jumping up onto our bench. All right, so it's going to be the same position with our feet. So at the top position, we want our feet to be right underneath the knees, okay? Setting up for the back, we want the shoulder blades to just be on the bench. So half the mid-back will be relaxed on the bench here. From this position, you can put your hands out over the chest, wherever you feel comfortable. All right, so in the top position, you can see how my feet are going to be underneath my knees. All right, from here, we're going to drop our hips. We're not going to be able to tuck it as well in that neutral position. That's fine. We're going to drive through the whole entire foot, so through the toes and the heel, okay? Driving up, right? Keeping the knees in line with the toes. When we get to the top, we're going to tuck the hips under, making sure that we can definitely feel those glutes firing as well. All right, from here, if they're doing really well, we can move into our barbell as well. All right, so jumping over here into our barbell, right from the floor. All right, so some clients might need a little bit of an elevation. Try and take note of that so they don't feel too self-conscious before they jump underneath it. All right, so laying down underneath. All right, so this is going to be very similar to our floor hip thrust. Okay, same thing with our feet. About one hand away from the bum. Okay, for most people they won't have the mobility to bring their feet all the way back anyway. So one hand's probably in position. From here, right, we're tucking the hips under, keeping the hands stable, so even as well, so when they come up, they're not uneven. All right, so hips tucked under, we're driving up through the glutes again, keeping everything tight, so driving through the whole foot as well, controlling back down, and then tucking under again, then driving up. Cool guys, all right, into our deadlift now. Noting that when we first get a client to do a deadlift, we are going to start them on the red plates. Okay, it's a bit more of a safer option to start off with, especially if they're lacking a bit of mobility. All right, so first of all, it's pretty much exactly the same as our rack pulls, okay, except for it's from a lower platform. All right, so walking up to the bar. Once again, this will depend. About 1 or 2 inches away from the bar, you're going to keep your shins. This will depend on the person's structure again. All right, from here, we want to try and make sure our feet are just about in line where the rings are. All right, from here, we're going to reach down, all right, grabbing on just outside those rings, all right, and what we're going to do is we're going to roll the scapula back, so retract the scapula, okay, and we're going to pull the bar in towards our shins. All right, from here, okay, keeping everything tight, we're pushing the earth away or we're leg pressing the floor away, up towards the knees, okay? Keeping everything tight through the shoulders. From here, we're going to drive the hips forward like we did on the rack pull, keeping everything tight still, and then tucking the hips under, making sure that they're physically engaging their glutes each time. Getting the bar back down to the floor, all right? Coming down the exact same way. You want to keep the bar on your legs so they keep that same control. All right, shoulders are retracted tight. Hips are going to come back, so hips down to the knee and then relaxing back down. All right, awesome. So dumbbell press, guys. So we're relating this is exactly the same movement as a bench press, except for you're using 2 dumbbells instead. All right. So starting off, if we're going quite heavy in the future as well, we're going to want to control it as we bring the dumbbells down to our setup. All right. So if it's really heavy, guys, keeping everything nice and tight through the shoulders, we can use our legs to help lift them up. All right. But starting off, we shouldn't be going that heavy anyway. We're going to keep nice and close to the chest. All right. This is the best control point. All right. So dumbbells tight to the body. All right. Controlling down from here. All right. We're going to set up our feet, so grounding those feet again. Okay. And we're going to be driving down through those heels to help create torque. All right. From here, we're going to roll the scapula back as best as we can, so into that retraction position. All right. We're going to lift the dumbbells up. All right, keeping that scapula tight and keeping these together. All right, setting up. All right, we're going to bring the dumbbells out and out to the side. Now, if we're struggling with our shoulders, guys, if someone's got a shoulder injury or if they've got very limited mobility, keeping the dumbbells on a slight diagonal is going to help to activate the lats as well, so they keep them even more stable on the bench. All right, from here, we're keeping the shoulders retracted and we're bringing the dumbbells down towards our armpit. All right. From here, shoulders should be retracted tight still. We're pressing straight up, keeping it wide for now. All right. Controlling back down and pressing up. All right. So setting up to bring the dumbbells back down. All right. Bring them back together, guys. Control them back down to the chest. All right. Keeping the core active as well as we come up. Bring the dumbbells up with us. And that's it.
Just a quick note, guys, if a client's going to lose the weight, so if they're coming down, going to lose the weight, always try and get them to tell them as well to bring it back to their chest as best they can. If they are going to lose it, obviously if they're going off the table and they're going to lose it, they have to let go of it. If they hold on to it, they're going to dislocate their shoulder or tear their rotator cuff. So very careful with that. Same as well as how we pick it up in between. We squat the weight up. We don't sit on the bench and grab the weight. I've seen clients hurt their back in the past and that as well, because they sit down first, and they pick up a heavy weight off the floor and they basically strain their lower back, just picking up weight off the floor. So you'll be very careful with that.
All right, guys, so jumping into lunges now. We're gonna start with the most regressive position, which is a reverse lunge. All right, so starting off with 2 feet together, we wanna keep an upright torso as well. All right, so we're stepping back and down. All right, if you need something to hold on to, maybe get something to hold on to a pole to start off with, or show hands up here. All right, we're stepping backwards. All right, and then we're bringing our knee down to the ground. All right, looking at that 90-degree angle. All right, trying to keep stable through there. From here, we're coming back up and together. All right, and stepping back down to the ground, getting that knee to the floor again. All right, another thing to note, guys, so looking at it forward. All right, so keeping everything tight still. We're stepping back. We don't want the person's knees to be rolling in. We need them to stay in line with our toes as well, guys. That's going to help engage those glutes. All right, coming back up. All right, and back down. All right, guys, using our leverage squat. All right, so taking note of how we get in and out. So the same way we go in is the same way that we come out, so we don't hit our head, guys. All right, so starting off, we're going to grab onto the sides here. Okay, and then we're going to be stepping underneath. All right, starting. All right, so coming up onto the platform. All right, we're jumping into a squat stance. So once again, wherever it feels comfortable on your hips, you probably do want those toes turned out just a little bit for most people. All right, from here, standing up straight, pushing the safety first of all, pushing the safety forward. All right, bring our hands back here, squatting down. So with this position, we're bringing our hips down and knees forward at the same time. Okay, we're squatting down as low as we physically can and our mobility allows. All right, from here, driving up through the whole foot again, coming to the top. We're engaging those glutes and tucking the hips under, engaging the glutes. All right, so stepping out again, guys. All right, we're going to step off the platform. We're going to pull the safety first of all, guys. Pull the safety first. Hands back to the handles. Stepping off, all right, hands back onto the sides here, ducking our head out, and stepping off.
Done.